what if I told you that the vestment industry has been quietly splitting into two worlds? One where parishes grab a $30 polyester chasuble glued together by underpaid workers overseas, and another where master embroiderers are stitching real 24-karat gold leaf thread into silk that moves like liquid, and the people who actually know, the liturgical artisans, the old atelier families, the priests who've worn both and felt the difference at the altar, they've been watching buyers walk away at level 2 for decades, never knowing what they left on the table. Here's what most people miss. There are 7 distinct levels of priest vestments, each one a leap in material, craftsmanship, and liturgical dignity, and most buyers, most parishes, most newly ordained priests stop at level 2 because nobody ever showed them what sits above it. By the time we reach number 1, we're talking about pieces that cost more than $30,000 each, museum quality work rooted in techniques that English embroiderers perfected in the 12th century. And at number 3, there's a tier built on brocade patterns designed over 140 years ago that are still being woven on the same looms today. You won't find this breakdown anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button, because every week we post videos that pull back the curtain on the traditions, craftsmanship, and hidden knowledge that the surface-level world never bothers to explain. Here are 7 levels of priest vestments that will completely reshape how you see liturgical dress, ranked from overlooked to absolutely sacred. Number 7. The throwaway starter. The fast fashion vestment that disrespects the altar it stands before. This is the $30 to $200 tier, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Low-quality fabrics, synthetic everything, seams held together with industrial glue instead of thread, assembled on giant machines by workers who've never set foot inside a church. You'll find these flooding online marketplaces, and they look passable in a thumbnail. Put one on, stand under sanctuary lighting, and every wrinkle, every cheap sheen, every poorly finished edge announces itself. The fabric doesn't drape, it bunches, it clings, it pills after a handful of washes. The experienced sacristans who care for vestments week after week will tell you these pieces barely survive a single liturgical year. Why does this matter? Because the chasuble isn't decoration. It traces back to the Roman casula, literally meaning little house, a garment descended from the ancient Roman penula that symbolizes charity itself, the virtue necessary for a priest to celebrate the Eucharist. Wrapping that symbol in glued polyester sends a message nobody intends to send. The testing backs this up. If you're a newly ordained priest on a tight budget, skip this tier entirely, save longer, and start at level 2. You'll spend less over 5 years because you won't be replacing disintegrating fabric every season. This level gets chosen because it's the first result in every search, and most buyers never scroll past it. If that's the setup you're running right now, this list was made for you. Number 6. The standard Parish set. The functional workhorse that covers 3 colors and calls it done. This is the $600 to $900 tier for a basic set. Typically an albee, amice, cincture, 3 stoles, and 3 chasubles covering white, green, and purple, the 3 primary liturgical colors a priest needs for regular ministry. The amice and cincture aren't afterthoughts. The general instruction of the Roman Missal treats them as proper priestly attire, and a complete set at this tier should include them. Bump it up to include red, a cope, and a dalmatic. And you're looking at $1,200 to $2,000. This is where most buyers stop. The liturgical supply veterans confirm it. A new priest gets ordained, the parish buys or gifts a standard set, and for many, that collection never grows again. The materials here are real fabric, properly stitched, genuinely functional. They hold up, they look appropriate. They fulfill every requirement laid out in the general instruction of the Roman Missal. But they fulfill those requirements the way a base model fulfills a spec sheet, nothing more. Functional sufficiency and liturgical dignity are not the same conversation. Pope Paul VI codified 4 liturgical colors in 1969: white, green, red, and purple. And a standard set at this tier often skips red entirely because it's used less frequently. The numbers don't lie. Without red in your set, you're borrowing every Pentecost and every Martyr's Feast. This level gets overlooked not because it's bad, but because buyers treat it as the ceiling when it's actually the floor. If your parish closet is built around this tier, you already know which feasts feel like scrambles. Number 5. The complete liturgical year set. the full-color coverage that most priests never bother to assemble. $1,200 to $2,000 gets you across the threshold into genuine liturgical completeness. Now you're covering every season, every feast, every occasion the calendar throws at you without borrowing from the parish closet or making do with the wrong color. This means red chasubles for Pentecost and martyrs' feasts, a proper cope for benediction and processions, and a dalmatic that carries its own symbolism. And if you're serious about completeness, this is also the tier where you add rose vestments for Gaudete, Sunday in Advent, and Laetaris Sunday in Lent, two of the most overlooked moments on the liturgical calendar and the ones that most sacristies simply don't have covered. The dalmatic was historically associated with benevolence, innocence, and joy, as the Terra Sancta Museum documents. It's not just another layer. It's a theological statement worn on the body. The people who understand liturgical planning know this tier is where a priest stops being reactive and starts being prepared. Every season accounted for, every feast honored in the correct color. No last-minute scrambling. The numbers confirm the value. A complete set at this level costs roughly double the basic set, but it eliminates the hidden cost of borrowing, improvising, and settling. Inventory what you own against the full liturgical calendar. If there's a color gap, that gap is showing up at the altar whether you notice it or not. This level gets skipped because buyers think of vestments as a one-time purchase instead of a complete system, and 3 colors feels like enough until it isn't. If the calendar is exposing gaps in your sacristy, level 5 is where those gaps close. Number 4. High-quality brocade and silk. The heritage fabric tier where craftsmanship starts speaking for itself. Now we cross into $2,000 to $5,000, and the difference isn't subtle. This is where you encounter fabrics with genuine pedigrees. Ecclesiastical sewing carries brocade and damask textiles that have been designed and woven by Watts & Company in the United Kingdom for over 140 years. Watts & Company, founded in London in 1874, remains the living archive of these patterns, drawing from historic sources, paintings, frescoes, images of vintage textiles that predate the industrial age. Augustus Welby Pugin, the father of Gothic Revival ecclesiastical design, laid the intellectual groundwork for this entire aesthetic tradition in the mid-19th century. Sir Ninian Comper, one of the finest ecclesiastical designers of the late 1800s, and Pugin's great successor in the Gothic Revival lineage, created fabric patterns at this level that are still in production at Watts & Company today, still being woven, still being cut and sewn into vestments that hang in sanctuaries around the world. The artisans who work with these materials know it immediately. The drape changes. The weight changes. Light interacts differently with real silk brocade than it does with synthetic substitutes. The chasuble moves with the priest's gestures instead of fighting them. Every pro knows it. A design older than 140 years, still in active production, still considered the standard. When evaluating brocade vestments, look also at the orphreys, the decorative bands of embroidery that frame the front and back of the chasuble. At this tier, orphreys begin to shift from machine-printed trim to woven or hand-finished work, and that distinction matters. Ask about the mill. Ask about the pattern's origin. If the seller can't tell you, you're not at this level. This tier gets overlooked because most buyers never see these fabrics in person, and photographs flatten exactly the qualities that make them extraordinary. Stand in front of this fabric under sanctuary light just once, and the comparison to lower tiers becomes impossible to unsee. If you're starting to see the pattern, if you're realizing that the distance between a $30 vestment and a $30,000 vestment isn't just price, but centuries of accumulated knowledge and craftsmanship, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps this reach people who genuinely care about understanding the traditions behind what they see at the altar. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you belong here. Number 3. Handcrafted Artisan. The American Atelier tier where every stitch is placed by a named hand. $5,000 to $10,000. And now you're in a different world entirely. Each piece is handcrafted, often in small studios in the United States, using those exquisite brocade fabrics sourced from specialized weavers like Watts & Co. in the United Kingdom. The orphreys at this level are hand-embroidered, not applied trim, and you can see the difference in person immediately. Ateliers like Ecclesiastical Sewing in Minnesota and Maison Bouvrier, continuing a multi-generational European tradition from their studio in Ontario, represent this tier. The creation of a single set at this level involves months of meticulous planning and work. Not weeks, months. The experienced liturgical tailors confirm it. These workshops handle design, embroidery, and finishing entirely in-house. That means fair, honest pricing for genuinely hand-embroidered work with nothing added for middlemen or distribution. No markup for a brand name, no inflated margin for a catalog company that never touched the fabric. Commissioned directly from the atelier, discuss the liturgical context, the architecture of your sanctuary, even the lighting. At this level, the vestment should be designed for your specific celebration space. This tier gets passed over because the lead times feel long and the price seems steep. But when you calculate cost per decade of use, handcrafted work outlasts 3 or 4 replacements from the tiers below. The vestment probably hanging in your sacristy right now was made to be replaced. This one is made to be inherited. If your sanctuary has a particular character, a particular light, a particular history, this is the tier where the vestment starts honoring all of it. Number 2, custom goldwork embroidery. The ancient English technique that made vestments into diplomatic currency. $10,000 to $20,000, and now we're working with gold thread on silk. Real gold. Ecclesiastical Sewing offers gilt bullion pearl at about $17 a spool, gold wire at $13, and specialty check thread at $23. Berlin embroidery carries threads spanning from just over $1 to nearly $60 per yard. At the pinnacle, Japanese vintage 24-karat gold leaf thread, known in Japan as honkin-shi, handmade in Kyoto's Nishijin district, brings real precious metal content and centuries of artisanal heritage into every stitch. The technique itself has a name that once commanded the respect of kings. Opus Anglicanum, literally English work, rose from the late 12th to mid-14th centuries and employed underside couching, a method that allows gold threads to move with the drape of the fabric. A related technique, or niue, which Sir Ninian Comper developed with the Sisters of Bethany in the early 20th century, takes this further still, shading colored silks over a ground of laid gold to create the effect of illuminated painting on fabric. The vestments shimmered with every gesture of the priest's hands. These pieces weren't just worn, they were given as diplomatic gifts between nations. The master embroiderers who still practice these techniques confirm it. Underside couching is irreplaceable for liturgical goldwork because the gold bends with the body instead of cracking against it. If you're commissioning at this level, specify the couching technique by name. Not all gold embroidery is equal, and the difference between surface-laid gold and underside couched gold is the difference between decoration and living fabric. This level stays hidden because almost nobody knows these techniques still exist, and the ateliers that practice them don't advertise. If you're celebrating in a cathedral or a chapel built for grandeur, this is the tier where the vestment rises to meet the room. Number 1. Master Craftsman Museum Quality. The $30,000 vestment that carries 8 centuries of unbroken tradition. Some vestments are sold for $30,000 a piece, and when you understand what goes into them, that number stops sounding extravagant and starts sounding inevitable. At this level, every element converges. The silk is the finest available. The gold thread, honkin-shi, from Kyoto's Nishijin district, carries real precious metal content. The embroidery techniques descend directly from the Opus Anglicanum tradition, with orphreys executed in underside couching or new, by master embroiderers who have spent careers learning a single technique. The design references patterns pulled from medieval frescoes, Renaissance paintings, and historical textiles preserved in cathedral treasuries, working in the tradition that runs from Pugin through Quimper and into the present. The Liturgical Arts Journal addressed the cost question directly, noting that a mass-produced catalog vestment set from 1927 would cost over $15,200 in today's money. And that was factory work, not custom. A master craftsman piece at this level represents the bespoke version of what was already expensive a century ago. The liturgical historians who study these pieces confirm it. Beauty has always cost this much. The illusion that it was ever cheap is exactly that, an illusion. These pieces are commissioned years in advance. They're designed for specific cathedrals, specific celebrations, specific moments in the life of the church. If you're a parish considering this investment, know that these vestments outlive the priest, the pastor, and often the generation that commissioned them. They become the patrimony of the parish itself. This level isn't overlooked. It's simply unknown to anyone who stopped at level 2 and never looked up. If your parish is preparing for a centennial, a consecration, or a moment that history will remember, this is the tier built for exactly that. If you made it all the way to the end, you've just learned something most people never will. The distance between a glued polyester chasuble and a $30,000 goldwork masterpiece isn't just money. It's 8 centuries of technique, theology, and devotion compressed into fabric and thread. Smash that like button if this changed how you think about what a priest wears at the altar. Drop a comment and tell me which level surprised you most. Team Opus Anglicanum Goldwork, Team Handcrafted Artisan, Team Heritage Brocade. I read every comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. I'd love to have you on this journey with us. Remember, the finest vestment isn't in a catalog or a search result. It's in a small atelier, stitched by hands that learned from hands that learned from hands, waiting for you to ask for it.